at Rainier Avenue Radio.
Join Cascade PBS at the Explore the Outdoors Family Fair, a free community event showcasing ways BIPOC communities can experience nature and enjoy outdoor recreation. There will be games, treats, workshops, and activities for people of all ages. Meet local organizations and advocates and hear from hosts Allison Mariella Desir and some of the guests featured in her show, Out and Back with Allison Mariella Desir. The event starts at 1 p.m. on January 27th at Washington Hall. Visit crosscut.com/events to RSVP for free.
The beat of the Fox with nastiness is back on K-Fox Night Beat.
Yo, what's the deal? It's the legendary Hall of Fame DJ Mixmaster Ice. UTFO.
What's up? Who you thought this is? This is Sir Mix-a-Lot.
And this is Terry Lewis.
And I'm Grand Mixer GMS.
What's up, y'all? This is DJ Third Degree.
This is JJ Hudson from the High Children family.
Sunday nights from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's K-Fox Night Beat with DJ Nastiness.
Bringing back the memories.
Bringing back the memories.
Bringing Seattle's hottest music.
Bringing Seattle's hottest music. Rainier Avenue Radio .world.
That's right. Noise.
Peace.
Mga kaibigan, ito po si Kuya Bert Kawili.
And this is Miles Salvador from Australia.
And I'm Norb Kawili, also known as Norbcam.
Kung gusto niyo po ang latest news and events from the Philippines at yung local Filipino community, Phil Radio po.
We play Filipino music and interview guests from all around the world.
And I'll keep you updated on the latest Seahawks and sports news.
Kaya always tune in Phil Radio every Tuesday, 1 to 2:30 p.m. Pacific Time on Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
And in YouTube and Facebook. Salamat po.
Atlantic Street Center has been serving the children, youth, and families of the Seattle King County area since 1910. We partner with families and communities to raise healthy, successful children and youth through services including counseling, early learning, youth development, domestic violence, and education support for school-aged children. Committed to serving the African American community, Atlantic Street Center provides services and support for all marginalized people. Learn more at AtlanticStreetCenter.org.
This is Paul Pearson, host of Star Time. And when I'm not being reprimanded by traffic cops, I'm listening to Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
You know what time it is? It's time for LidLine Sports. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to LidLine Sports right here on Rainier Avenue Radio.world, broadcasting live from the beautiful studios in Columbia City, the south end of Seattle. What's happening, everybody? We had late breaking news. O can't make it tonight due to coaching duties, and so I get that. That happens. Hopefully, Michael will be joining us. I think he's here. Michael is here with us via Zoom. What's happening, MC? Good to see you, my brother.
Just a minute, man.
Okay. You get yourself together. I feel you. Yeah, bro. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Boy, we had some good playoff games, so we're going to get to that. I was hoping to get extensively into the NBA because we've been missing out since O's been off. But, hey, stuff happens.
How come the mic isn't on?
You're on, brother. I can hear you. You are on. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? I can hear you.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I hear you loud and clear.
All right. Sorry, man.
Lima Charlie. Yes. You're good.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So I was just saying that we had some good divisional round playoffs. So we're going to definitely get into that. We're going to get, of course, into some coaching possibilities for the Seattle Seahawks. And MC, you and I talked about this a little earlier today, but I want to touch on Bronny James for a little bit later on the show.
Okay.
So
okay, give me a second. I'm still here. I just need to turn on some light.
No problem. Live. We're live, folks. This is what happens in live radio and TV and whatever. So I'm loving it. So yeah, so Anyway, let's talk about some NFL stuff real quick since we are deep into the NFL playoffs. We're down to the final 4 right now, but let's talk about what happened in the final 8, the divisional round. The first game was Saturday between the Houston Texans. I almost said Dallas Texans. Whoa. The Houston Texans and the Baltimore Ravens. Did that go as expected for you, MC?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I picked the Ravens and 49ers for the Super Bowl, but it went as expected.
Okay.
It was the Ravens game was that's one that one expected. Yeah.
Okay. Well, during the week, there was a lot of shows that were saying that the Houston Texans might upset Baltimore. They were picking, a lot of people were picking a few upsets in that one. I didn't see that, and even though it was close in the half, the first half was pretty even at 10-10, and I even remarked that sometimes is it a good thing to have the bye? When you're the number 1 or number 2 seed, whatever, number 1 seed in whatever conference, and then you finally play a playoff game a week after everyone else. Does that really help you or hurt you?
I talked to a couple of my friends who are ex-NFL players and played, and that week that means a lot to them. They get that rest and get
right.
Because at that juncture in the season, I guarantee you 80% of the players have injuries, some kind of ailment. And so that week gives them time, even though they'll get a little rusty, it still gives them time to heal.
Right. Okay. That's a good thought. When I was watching, I was thinking to myself, I was uncertain that it's a good thing because the first half Baltimore looked pretty rusty, but then in the second half they looked like who we thought they were, right?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
They took over and dominated like they were supposed to.
Right.
So, yeah.
I just think for CJ Stroud being a rookie in that environment was you could see that it was like, how they say the deer in the headlights.
Right.
You could see that in him because he was really thinking, even when they panned on when he was on the bench, they pan over to him and he was just looking like, he was overthinking it instead of just letting the game come to him,
Okay, yeah, I feel you. I was distracted for a second because I was reading some text, and it seems like we have a new one, Felipe. So I definitely want to get into what he was saying in a few seconds.
Okay.
So my thought is when you said deer in the headlights, which you're probably right. But he's been in big situations before. CJ Stroud, this ain't new because he played in the college football playoffs. So he's used to being in the spotlight. He played, so to me, I didn't think that would be too big for him. But hey, look, this is the NFL, so you might be onto something there. But look,
against the Ravens, man, come on, man. That's a big in Baltimore.
Yeah, that's absolutely. I'm not doubting you or
no, I know you're not. I'm just saying that's a big.
I just thought he'd be ready myself because
I did too.
The situation he's been there, been in that type of situation, championship, and the eyes of the world on you like that. Right. So I expected that he'd be ready for it. And I'm not saying he wasn't, but you know what? Look, Baltimore was just a better team. Okay,
right.
Let's put it that way. Let's not blame that. Let's not say that because he was a rookie or D'Amico Ryans because he's a rookie head coach. Because Houston last season was the second worst team in the league, and look where they are now, right? Final 8. That's phenomenal.
That's phenomenal. They'll be right back there, and they
should be right.
They're a young, strong team, and they'll learn from this loss. And no, I'm not blaming CJ Stroud or the coach at all. It's just that's a big ask.
Yes,
exactly.
Yeah.
You know, that'd be like when the Chicago Bulls were in their prime, and then a rookie guard has to go, or a rookie player has to guard Jordan. You know, it's like he might do good, but it's gonna be big ass.
Yeah, you got that right, man. I wouldn't want that job.
No, exactly.
I want the check, but I I want the check, but I don't want I don't want to get caught up like that in front of everybody.
Right.
Yeah, but kudos to the Houston Texans, man. What a season they had, and they blew out the Browns last week. We know in the Super Wild Card, and so now in this game, the Ravens gave them what they can look forward to. Is what they hope to be, right?
Right.
The Houston Texans saw. Now they've got a taste of what it's like, and they see. Okay, now they know that this is what we want to be.
Exactly.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, they got their feet wet. They got their feet wet. They won that won that wild card, and they got into the divisional round, and they got beat. But now that saying, once you taste it like that and you're that good, you try to get back.
Yes. Again, yeah. And Felipe, thank you for joining us. And I agree. The Ravens have the best defense in the NFL. And your opinion is very valid because you said that Houston played well, had a good game, but the Ravens have the best defensive line. Yeah. So you're absolutely correct. And you said that C.J. Stroud played like a rookie. Well, I wouldn't say he played like a rookie. I would just say that the Baltimore Ravens were ready for what they had to offer. Right. So, and there's nothing wrong with that. So Felipe, thank you. I appreciate, and you keep on giving us some of your insight. I love seeing it.
Can I say something?
Jr.? Absolutely. Go ahead.
So I agree. I don't think he played like a rookie. I think what happened was more so he was a rookie in a veterans environment, and the veterans and the better team, like he said, Baltimore with the number one defense. He hasn't been in that kind. It's a whole different beast from regular season to playoff games.
Right.
It's a whole different environment. And I would say he played darn good, but it just was like I said, deer in the head, like he's overthinking it, way too much instead of just letting the game come to him and settling down,
And here's the thing: they couldn't get a run game going, right? So what happens when you can't run?
Nope.
You become one dimensional.
Dimensional.
And so and when you can't run, it makes it that much harder for any quarterback, much less a rookie quarterback.
Oh, right? Veteran, any quarterback, yes.
That's what. Yeah, exactly. So so kudos to CJ and Houston.
Yes.
So hopefully we'll see more of that next season, and then we'll see what happens going forward.
Exactly.
The next game that came on Saturday was the Green Bay Packers and the San Francisco 49ers, and that was a very good game. It was very entertaining, if not surprising, because it seems Green Bay pretty much, I wouldn't say they had control most of the game, but I would say they were the better team for the most part, for a greater part of that of the game. I would think. Would you agree or not? I mean,
I agree. The Green Bay Packers. I had talked to one of my friends who's been a diehard 49er fan since we were kids, and being 63, that's a long time. But he was telling me after the game, I texted him. I said, you guys won. And he said, man, my butt cheeks are still stuck to my chair because he was so tense. Right.
Right.
So my question to you though is, was it Purdy's rustiness, or was it just when Debo went out that the 49ers, not the 49ers, but when Debo went out, then it seemed like he lost his go-to guy, so he had to heavily depend on Christian McCaffrey, and Ayuk was kind of MIA. So
yeah,
and we talked about this the whole season. When the pressure is on, will Purdy rise to the cream of the crop, or will he stay, mediocre? So what do you think? What's your assessment?
Okay, well, Number one, when you mentioned Debo, I actually mentioned Debo during the game when he went out, and I said there's still no excuse. San Francisco has too many offensive weapons to concern themselves about, well, okay, we lost Debo. If we lose, that's the excuse. No, it is not. Because they have too many weapons to just be worried to rely on just Debo. I mean, because Jennings stepped up, and then you still got Ayuk, you got Kittle, and then of course you got CMC. So you still have all pros
right
out there
But
performing. So yes, of course I know. No, I know what you're saying. I'm just giving you a synopsis.
Okay.
So because trust me, the excuse was ready if they had lost. Okay,
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
just addressing that.
Yes.
Excuse was ready. No, there was if they would have lost it, Debo being out was not a valid excuse. He's definitely a main cog, but he's not the only main cog they have. So if he went out and they lost, they still have CMC, the best running back in the league. They still have Ayuk, who's a top 8 wide receiver, right? And you still got Kittle, who's a top 2 tight end. So and Jennings is a very good complementary wide receiver on the other side. So they got plenty of weapons, to offset Debo being hurt. Now look, if Debo can't return,
he's going to come,
and someone else gets hurt, now that's a problem.
Yeah, he's going to play next game. They said it wasn't as bad. From the reports, it wasn't as bad. He'll be ready to play next game. So.
Right, and you did mention some rustiness, and I grant that. I think there is something to that. Like when you come off a bye and then you don't play and yes, I agree with, I understand rather that players would like the rest, but I if you poll the coaches, I would bet you 8 out of 10 would rather be playing the next week rather than the bye. Now, I'm not saying that they don't want to be home and all that other stuff, but I'm just saying all things being equal, they'd rather continue week to week to week so you don't get thrown off your rhythm.
Yeah, I understand that concept, but I just talked to some of the players,
No, you did. And from their point of view, I get that.
Right.
I'm just talking about from the coaching point of view.
Right.
They're going to have a different view than the players most of the time.
I agree. Even not the coaches and the owners, they want to keep rolling because they don't want to lose that mojo.
That's right. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, but the players, they sit back and they go like, I could use an extra few days off my knee.
Absolutely.
My back is hurting. I mean, what about, just a regular Joe Blow that works at his job and he's got a cold, he wants to take a day off or an extra day. When you get that 3-day weekend, tell me you ain't going like, yeah, boy.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so, Bill Walker Jr., you think Green Bay took their foot off the gas, or did San Francisco tighten up their defense? Yeah, so
that's a good question.
And look, we knew what to expect from Green Bay because they showed us when they went into Dallas the week before that they wasn't playing. Right. So you could overlook us if you want to. So San Francisco definitely was not overlooking Green Bay by any stretch. Green Bay is just here's what happened. Green Bay struggled during the season because they didn't know who they were yet, right?
Right.
Jordan Love, they didn't know who he was yet. He finally got it together towards the end of the season, and they finally figured it out. This is what we are, who we are, and what we can do. And they showed that against Dallas. So now they believe, right? They expected to go into Santa Clara Saturday and win that game. Now, I bet you there's not one Green Bay guy in there who would tell me, "Oh, we expect to win," and they played like it.
They did.
They didn't choke.
No.
They didn't choke. You know what? San Francisco, that last drive, people were saying, "Oh, Brock Purdy that was dominated by CMC running the ball." And like I said, they got so many weapons. You don't know where to go. You could double team this guy, but okay, then Kittle will be wide open. You could double team Kittle. Okay, I'll just give it to Ayuk. right? And so on and so forth. And then we just gash you with the run. So, and can you imagine if Elijah Mitchell wasn't hurt?
Right.
In San Francisco, man.
And for your point, you're right. Brock Purdy, all he has to do is manage the ball. Just no
That's
turnovers.
it. And don't turn it over.
Manage no turnovers. And but I'm saying for this next game though, he can't start out rusty and slow because Detroit's coming full bore.
Yeah. Yep.
But
Felipe, I do like Brock Purdy. Do I think he's phenomenal? No, I think he's perfect for that squad.
Right.
I think he fits that team perfectly. I'm tired of talking heads talking about system quarterbacks and this and that. Listen, every quarterback is a system quarterback that works within that system, and of course there are ones better or some better than others, and those are elite quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes. I feel that Patrick Mahomes could go to Denver and do well, right, and be great still, right. But he fits that Kansas City system perfect because they got the players around him. So and then finally Baker Mayfield, for him, he found the perfect system for him.
Exactly.
In Tampa, and he's shown what he can do. Now, hopefully, he'll stay there, and it'll grow, and he'll continue to do well. I don't wish bad on him. He was the number 1 overall pick for a reason,
right?
Because of his talent, and he's got the skill,
right?
And he's showing that finally.
He just got to do some studying and
absolutely
and focus a little more and not try to overdo it. We'll get to the game. You'll understand that point when we get to the Buffalo game.
Yeah.
What I mean by overdoing it, trying too hard or anything. But no, Green Bay, that was a very exciting game to me.
Yeah.
So
definitely. Yeah, they gave San Francisco all they can handle.
That's right.
Now, but see, the thing is, San Francisco, they know that Detroit is prolific in offense, right? They got a great running back.
Yeah.
They got a wide receiver, Amon St. Brown. That's that you, if you've listened to the show often enough, you know that he's one of my guys.
Yeah.
He's one of my top 5 favorites. And I'm not saying he's a top 5 best. There's a difference. You can listen to what I'm saying. He's one of my top 5 favorite wide receivers in the league.
Say that one more time. Say that one more time so they get it. He's
okay. Amon-Ra St. Brown of the Detroit Lions, wide receiver, is one of my 5 favorites right now in the NFL. I'm not saying he's a top 5 wide receiver, and I'm not saying he's not.
Right.
Yeah, but he's one of my personal 5 favorites.
Thomas for the 49ers better dig down deep, because the way the Green Bay Packers receivers were chewing him up, he ain't seen Amon St. Brown. Amon St. Brown might go berserk on him, man.
So Detroit did something a few years ago, like 2 years ago, that baffled me. And now I'm understanding. They got rid of TJ Hawkinson. They traded TJ Hawkinson to Minnesota, of all teams. I mean, a team in your own division, which was crazy to me.
Right.
TJ Hawkinson was great. But this Sam Laporta, tight end for Detroit.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it now.
Yeah.
I get it now. It's like, man, this guy is something else.
Right.
So, look, Detroit is San Francisco diet, right? Because statistically, they have almost the same statistics. San Francisco averages 300 and some odd yards per game passing. Detroit only averages like 5 yards less than that. San Francisco average 140 yards per game on the run. Detroit average 135. So they're right there.
They're right there. Yeah.
But the problem is, on defense, San Francisco has all pros everywhere. Linebacker, right? The defensive front.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the offensive line. They got Trent Williams, probably the best O lineman in the game right now.
Yep.
So that's the only difference. And then, of course, Detroit's probably got the number 2 guy in Penny Sewell.
Right.
He might be number 2 offensive line. So they're almost mirror images of each other. So when San Francisco looks across the field, they're looking at guys that are kind of like them.
Exactly.
So which means to me that they'll be prepared for that.
Right.
Look, let's be honest. This Final Four, right? In this Final Four, you have, of course, San Francisco, Detroit, Baltimore, and Kansas City. Detroit is probably the least likely not only to get to the Super Bowl, but to win it. We agree on that, right?
Yes.
And now, as far as America's rooting interest sake, San Francisco, KC, and Baltimore, Detroit would probably be America's favorite team to root for.
Right.
Can you agree on that?
Yes, because they haven't been there since the 50s.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And I'm rooting for them. I say that openly. I'm rooting for the Lions. I know you might not know this story, MC, but I went to our buddy's house for Super Bowl a few years ago, and as a gag gift, I got a Detroit Lions shirt.
Right.
And I wear it sometimes, because hey, it's a nice shirt. It's a decent shirt. I kind of messed it up a little bit, but it's got a little paint on it, whatever. But you could bet your sweet Pepe, as we used to say and laugh at. Remember that?
Yep.
I went way back there.
Yep.
You could bet that I'll be wearing that shirt next week, and hopefully, if they somehow defeat San Francisco and go to the Super Bowl, I'll be wearing that shirt again. But I'm gonna be honest; it's highly unlikely, but I'm hoping. So, since we are talking about the Lions, we can get into the Lions beating the Bucks 31-23 yesterday. Your thoughts on that?
I think that it was another good game, and I just think that Detroit wanted it more, and that they had. I really don't like the home field advantage thing anymore because it can go either way. But it seemed like they had that home field, that crowd, and the hype, and Goff was he was zeroed in, and what's the linebacker's name for Detroit, or the defensive end,
Aiden Hutchinson.
That boy was locked in.
Yeah.
And they were just ready to play. Now, is it Baker's fault that they lost? No, he played an exceptional good game.
Yep.
And Tampa Bay gave him and Mike Evans they were killing, but I don't think their run game was as strong as it usually is.
Right. Hey, look, hold that thought. We're going to go on break. When we come back, we're going to continue this conversation, and then we're going to talk about a little bit of NBA, and then I want to get into some Bronny James. So do not go away. We'll be right back.
Allison, can you give me my
Rainier Avenue Radio, your community radio station will provide you with more information. Rainier Avenue Radio.
Generational wealth. Generational wealth. Generational wealth. What is generational wealth? We asked our communities, and this is what they had to say.
Black generational wealth. For a long time, that's been a dream that needs to see reality. For hundreds of years, Black people have been in the United States and have suffered for it. We built this country, but have not yet really seen the dream come alive and what that means for Black people and people of color. This is going to take some time and some work and a lot of sacrifice. But people of color have always done that, and so it won't be any different. You don't need to do it alone, and you don't need to do it alone, because this is a community work project. It's going to take some rigor. It'll take a change in mindset for individuals and the community and the nation at large. This won't be simple, but that's okay. Nothing that's good or worthwhile is ever really simple.
This campaign to create awareness to generational wealth is brought to you by the Department of Neighborhood's Generational Wealth Initiative, the Washington Housing Finance Commission, and Rainier Avenue Radio .world.
Women are not an homogenous group.
We face discrimination differently depending on factors such as ethnicity, age, socioeconomic status, and more.
Rainier Avenue Radio is proud to amplify women's voices.
They are the experts of their own lives, initiating conversations within their community about challenges they face, the solutions they're working on, and the opportunities they see.
Please join us this Sunday from 2 to 5 for Women's Voices on Air. We know our challenges. We are the experts of our lives.
We are master multitaskers, prioritizing our family, friends, and our faith above our own needs.
Our needs and voices are too often overlooked.
Please join us this Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. for Women's Voices on Air.
We tell our stories in our own way.
Welcome to the Fitness Corner. I'm your host, Mark Bryant, and you're going to get a whole total body workout on my show, starting off with a warm-up, aerobics, strength training, cool down, and stretching every Friday from 11:30 to 12 right here on Rainier Avenue Radio.
Love food? Here's some storage tips to keep it fresh longer. Store cut fruits and vegetables in the fridge. Place in reusable containers. Keep bread in the freezer for longer storage. 40% of food in the U.S. goes uneaten. Save money, save food, save the planet. Visit Seattle Public Utilities for more tips.
You know you can't get enough of Rainier Avenue Radio.
Welcome back to LidLine Sports right here on Rainier Avenue Radio .world. Friends, Black History Month Museum 2024, the Call to Conscience, will be here February 1st through the 29th. That's the entire month of February. And if you notice, the 29th is a leap year. So don't forget, it's at 4916 Rainier Avenue South, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., Tuesday through Sunday, throughout the month of February. Black History Month Museum 2024. MC, we were talking about the Lions and the Buccaneers, and yes, it was a good game, and then of course that game went as expected. And I'm glad you brought up the home field, because if there's one team that has a gigantic home field, and unfortunately it's gone now, the Detroit Lions, man, they were outstanding. I enjoyed watching them, the crowd, the atmosphere. My buddy was there, a guy I went to boot camp with. We've been friends over 40 years now. He's back in Detroit. Once he got out of the service, he moved. He was actually living in the Bay Area, bro. So can you imagine the friends that he has down there that he's dealing with right now? He lived for several years in Oakland, and then he went back. He retired and went back home to Detroit to take care of his mom and stuff. So that's my guy, Dwight Watkins, man. Man, I miss him, and I'm glad that I'm happy for him, because he's a big time Detroiter, and I'm really rooting for the Lions. Because once you see a team that's been down for years and years and years, and it's like like the Jets. Not for you, because you're a Dolphins fan, so I get that. So I don't get at me on that one.
Hey, easy now.
Yeah. I'm not gonna go deep into that, but I'm just saying a team like that, and even the Cleveland Browns to a lesser extent, because they were terrible for a long time, and it was even though they're in my division, it doesn't bother me to see them do well right now. And of course, Baltimore Ravens, I think I might actually have to root for them this weekend, because I'm not sure I want to deal with Kansas City. And Super Bowl and Kelce's and Swifts and all that. Do we really want to go through all that?
No.
Yeah, absolutely not. So anyway, let's get on to the Chiefs and the Bills real quick. I've said this, folks, and like I said, if you've been listening, I've been calling the Buffalo Bills frauds all season long. I posted on Facebook, and when they were 6-6, I was saying, well, you know what? This was a do or die year for them. And I still stand by that. They had to do it this year, or they can just forget it. And I'm sorry, but I picked the Chiefs. I went 4-0 this weekend, by the way. How did you do? I'm just asking. I'm not trying to brag or anything.
No, 3-1. I thought the Bills would win because it was a home game, and The receivers for Kansas City have been having butterfingers the whole season.
Right.
So I thought for sure that the Bills would beat them, but the Kansas City Chiefs receivers were catching the ball, and Buffalo Bills they did what you said they were going to do.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this, bro. When I was making the pick, that was the last game to pick. I picked Kansas City, and then I went back and changed it to Buffalo. And I thought, and I said, what am I doing? I said, I'm not changing. I'm going back to KC because, number one, you should always go with your first thought, right?
Right.
And number two, I don't trust Buffalo. I haven't trusted them all season. Why would I trust them now?
Right.
So I'm not I wasn't going back on it until they can prove they can beat Kansas City. And I'm not, listen, I know they beat Kansas City in the regular season, but the regular season really didn't have much merit because it was no do or die. This was do or die. And 2 times they went do or die in Kansas City, lost both games. Mahomes is 3-0 against Buffalo and Josh Allen, right? And Josh Allen is 0-6 in overtimes overall, not just against Kansas City, but overall in overtime games. So, the question being, is Josh Allen an elite quarterback? No, he's a good quarterback, borderline great. Listen, I'm not going to call him great. I'm going to say very good. You know what he is, MC?
Yeah.
Josh Allen is Phillip Rivers deluxe.
Exactly.
He can do pretty much the same thing as Phillip Rivers does as far as throwing the ball. He's a better at running and getting away from rush, or he's a better rusher, let's say, a better running quarterback than Phillip Rivers by far. And so, but other than that, he's the same guy.
Yeah.
And what's Phillip Rivers done in the playoffs?
Nothing.
Lose. I mean, he lose every big game he's been in. They've lost.
Yeah, you don't. No argument for me on that analysis.
So until they actually do it, I'm always going to go against them if they play Kansas City. And like I said, Buffalo to me, when their window's closed, to me, it ain't closing. To me, it's closed. They got to think about whether they want to go forward with Sean McDermott as coach, and not that he's a bad coach, because obviously he's not. Right. But is he no longer a fit for that team? Do they need another voice? Do they need Belichick to get them over the hump?
They might. Yeah, because what they've been doing and dealing with is not working. And
nope.
That'd be great. I mean, that'd be interesting. Bringing Belichick in and changing things up, because they're a good team. Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
They're a good team. They're in my division. I play them. We play them twice a year. They're a good team, but they are what they are. They are, what's that Danny Green saying? They are who we thought they were,
Yes. Are they snake bit by KC?
I don't know if it's so much KC. I just think they're snake bit just for the big moment. He can't get over the big moment hump. It could be anybody. It could have been any team in there that in that moment. And I just think, it's kind of giving me flashbacks of how Tannehill played, where he tries to do too much. Oh, remember I told you earlier in the show, I was going to correlate what I said about doing too much to the Bills.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's the same thing as Josh Allen. He tries to do too much, and when it's key in big games like that, when they need him to do the right thing, he can't. He just doesn't. I'm not going to blame the game on him, because you got different factors, the missed field goal, this and that. But come on.
Diggs.
Yeah, in that moment though, he's got to make that throw to the open receiver in the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to find a way either to step into it, hop on one leg. Patrick Mahomes did it on one leg. Remember that year he had injured his ankle?
Mm-hmm.
He made the throw that he had to make with an injured ankle.
Right.
So when you're an elite, above good quarterback, You got to find a way to carry your team, put them on your shoulders, and carry them in moments like that. And Josh Allen, what?
Right. He has not done it. You're right. Absolutely 100% agree.
Yeah, he hasn't done it. Yeah.
And until they do or he does, it's going to be the same thing over and over. And look, they got what they wanted, right? What did they want? What did they want? They wanted a home game against Kansas City. They
exactly.
Said, oh, look, wait till, come up to Buffalo and play us. What they did, what happened. Same thing.
Yep.
Yeah, and I knew it wasn't going to be no different. That's why I picked Kansas City.
You called it, man.
It wasn't hard.
No.
It's not like it was a difficult decision. It really wasn't.
You know what? I got the feeling. Let me cut you off, but I got the feeling from watching that game. I think they had a little bit of Pete Carroll-itis because in the second half, Buffalo didn't adjust that much. They tried to come out and do the same old, and Kansas City said, if you don't adjust, we're gonna bust.
Yeah, and they did do a couple of risky moves like that fake punt.
Yeah.
That failed miserably.
Yeah, that's trickery. That ain't adjusting. I'm talking about
no, exactly. But I'm just saying is when they tried something different, they failed miserably.
Right.
And then Stephon Diggs, bro, we can't hear from you no more.
Oh
we
no,
can't hear. Get me the ball. We can't hear it because you got the ball and you dropped it.
Yeah, you can't hear.
He laid it right there.
We don't want to hear this diva-ish crap and you blaming it on Josh Allen and get the ball to me. You were in your divisional round in a home game and the ball was thrown right to you. And did you see the replay?
Yes.
He tried to pull it into his body instead of catching it with his hands.
Come on, man. You're paid. This is what he was. That's why he got paid what he got paid.
Right.
For moments like that.
Right.
He failed.
Right.
So he need to be quiet. His brother Trayvon Diggs, be quiet about your brother need to get out of Buffalo, blah, blah, blah. Get out. Yeah. Stop with that.
Exactly.
He had that moment and blew it.
That's
right.
We
don't need to hear that no more. And I like Diggs, right?
Oh, he's awesome.
If you told me Diggs was being traded to the Seahawks, I'd be happy. I'm like, okay. Yeah. I'd be glad to take him. But
if he's coming to the
Dolphins, shut up, though.
Send him to the Dolphins, I'd be happy. But
his mouth got to be closed.
What's the old saying we used to hear when we growing up? What's the old saying when we played hoop and played sports? It's like put up or shut up.
That's it. Yeah, and he's got to shut up because he didn't put up.
Right.
So that's the way it goes.
Exactly.
So the final four, we got Detroit at San Francisco,
and
then we have a Kansas City at Baltimore. Whoa. All right. So who you got in the first game? Detroit and San Fran. NFC, rather, I should say.
Man, that's a hard choice. I think San Francisco will beat them because the Detroit Lions are a dome team, and that field is still going to be sloppy.
Good point.
And San Francisco's used to it pretty much most of their team, and I just think they have more weapons, but Detroit Lions are not going to roll over. So I'm going to roll with San Francisco, but say the Detroit Lions are going to give them a run for their money.
Okay. And I, you know what? I'm right behind you on that. I'm co-signing. I believe San Francisco is going to win that game. And it has nothing to do with, do I think the NFL is scripted and all that? Let's not get into that.
Oh, okay? Yeah. I don't.
Let's leave that stuff alone. But I do think San Francisco is the better team. They have more weapons, and I think they're going to beat Detroit, even though I would be very happy if the Detroit Lions win that game this weekend. Yeah. Okay, so Kansas City and Baltimore. I love the way Baltimore is carrying themselves. I like the way they're playing, and I like the fact that Kansas City has to hit the road again because I'm tired of seeing them at home all the time.
Exactly.
So now they get to feel how see how it feels to be underdogs and on the road because I think they weren't underdogs in Buffalo. Actually, I think they were favored, if I'm not mistaken.
They were.
But they're going to be underdogs this time, buddy. You betcha. And so,
they're good. It's going to be.
And Lamar is different. He's not the same Lamar that he's been in the past. As far as
he's locked, loaded, and ready, man. He's locked,
the regular season Lamar has carried over into the postseason, and that's what we all want to see, right? We want to see regular season Lamar play in the postseason because we haven't seen that yet. And now we saw it Saturday, and we like what we see. And I know I sure did.
Oh yeah.
So I would love to see Baltimore take care of Kansas City, so we get rid of all that Swifty, Kelsey. I'm sick of Mahomes and his faux hawk. I'm tired of that too, right?
Yeah,
man, come on, man.
But I'm going to take the Ravens for the mere reason that you said it. The factors are that number one, Baltimore's defense is going to give Mahomes more than he can handle, and number two, Lamar Jackson is in a whole different realm. He's not into the run realm. He's into the pass, run the plays,
and hopefully they have Mark Andrews back
and run when he has to. And Kansas City's defense, if Lamar Jackson takes off, I don't think they have the weapons to stop him. So yeah. I think Kansas City's it's a road game. They got as far as they're gonna get. I think it's gonna be a wrap. Now, is it gonna be just a rollover? No, Baltimore's gonna have to play their A game again. But I'm rolling heavy with Baltimore.
Yes. Again, I got to co-sign with that. I can't disagree. I'm going to go with the Ravens. So there you have it, folks. This weekend, expect San Francisco and Baltimore. And look, we ain't giving you no revelations because everybody's got San Francisco and Baltimore in the Super Bowl. And look, is it going to be a surprise if it's Detroit and Baltimore or Kansas City and San Francisco? Absolutely not. It's not going to be a surprise at all because these four teams are clearly the best four in the NFL right now. So maybe the next two.
I got a night full of sayings. Any given Sunday, any team could win.
Yeah, for sure. So there you go. Those are our NFL analysis for this week. Good job, MC. Quickly, let's get into some NBA. Have you been watching? Because I haven't been watching a whole lot, but I do like what I've seen from the Knicks. I checked out a couple of their games, their scores, and what they're looking like since Anunoby has joined them from Toronto. They're like 9 games over 500, so I'm kind of liking that. Yeah, and then of course it's nice to see the Lakers still stumbling, fumbling, bumbling. I love that. And real quick, the Lakers. When you think of the Lakers, of course you think of LeBron James. But I want to talk about Bronny for a hot second. LeBron James' son, for those that might not know who Bronny James is. He is a high school phenom that is now in college playing for the USC Trojans in his first year. And, of course, LeBron has made several statements saying that he could be on the Lakers right now. He could help the Lakers. He could, he's definitely going to get on the NBA roster. Well, yeah. But, I've watched Bronny a few times. I even watched him in high school, and to be honest, and I try not to be a big hater because, Bronny James, in a way, I kind of feel sorry for him because he looks like, to me, he really doesn't want it. But we won't get into all that right now. I see him, and to be honest, I've played in the park with some guys that are just as good or better than him.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. I don't see anything spectacular with him. I don't see anything special. And it's not a knock. I'm just being honest. Look, Michael Jordan had 2 sons. Neither one of them were anything special in basketball.
Right.
Neither one of them. They both played D1, and then I think one of them actually knocked down to D2. But just because you're a superstar athlete don't mean you're going to have superstar kids or whatever. It does happen, of course, Ken Griffey. Yeah, but a lot of times it doesn't. And in this case, I don't think it will. And the fact that people are saying, well, he'll probably, that NBA scouts are looking at him. Why? Because he's LeBron's son. I get that. But I mean, other than that, bro, there ain't much to see.
You want me to?
He is so mid. It's wow.
This Bronny, LeBron James and his son thing gives me the vibes of Antetokounmpo and his brother.
Oh,
where his brother, where the Greek Antetokounmpo is one of the top 10 ball players in the NBA right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And his brother's on the team only solely because his brother is one of the top 10 players.
Right.
And I could take you to a place in New York, in Oakland, in the Bay Area, and pull some street ballers off that could play better than his brother.
Absolutely.
Given the chance. But
we got high school up here, coffee.
Yeah, right. We got high schoolers that can ball, but you said it kind of. It's hard when you have a dad that's in that big of a star. He's that big of a star, and he's in that stratosphere. Mm-hmm. It's hard for you as a child to kind of find your way and navigate
and live up to that.
And unless you just got that spark, you got that. And like you said, there are some that they have kids that have that and can hold their own, but there's far less than there are more.
Yeah.
And Bronny, to me, I think Bronny's brother is better than him. And if you look at Bronny's little sister, she can ball. I think she's I don't know, she's young, but I've seen videos of her balling, and I'm thinking, okay, and she looks like she's into it more than Bronny is, you know. And
that's the thing. To me, I don't see the spark or the fire in him. And to me, it's like he's out there because, well, he's LeBron's son, and I guess he wants to do good for his daddy, I'm guessing. But to me, inside, I can see some things that tell me he really don't want to be out there.
Right.
It just doesn't look like it. I could be wrong. Look, I'm no expert on body language or anything like that. I could be dead wrong, but I just don't see it personally. And like I said, I played against some cats, everywhere. I've been all over the world, right?
Right.
And I played against people from everywhere, and I've seen some cats like, man, what are you doing here? I've met a few guys. I said, man, what are you doing here? How come you're not playing overseas somewhere professionally? Or how come I get how hard it is to be in the NBA. So I never say, how come you're not in the NBA? I never say that. I always say, how come you're not playing pro somewhere? That's what I say, because I know how hard it is. It's very difficult to get an NBA. It's almost impossible, right? So, but man, it's like I look at Bronny and I watch him play, and I just don't see it.
I don't see it, but my hope, and I know your hope, is that he does turn the corner before his, in the next year or two. Because if he doesn't turn the corner next year or two, he's gonna get in the league and get embarrassed. I don't care who your dad is. If you come in the league and you ain't ready, that's a big boys club. They're gonna let you.
He's gonna be, bro. They're gonna be hunting him. Are you kidding me? They're gonna be out to destroy him.
Right.
And that's why I feel bad.
Right.
Because I'm hoping he's ready for that.
Yeah.
Because man, I don't wish that on him at all, man. I want him to have, to be successful, but I also want him to be elevated because he deserves it, not because of who his daddy is.
Right. Not the status of his father.
Right. I don't want them coattails like that.
Because I seen a video, and I'm sure there's a lot of the people that are listening, and you might have seen them, where there's YouTube videos of like Jamal Crawford's son.
Mm-hmm.
Carmelo Anthony's son.
Yes.
And then there's a set of twins out there. I forget who their father is. But they got that fire in them. And I know exactly what you're talking about. So I've watched those videos and I see them, and you can see they got that fire in them, where they really got that oomph. And Bronny doesn't seem to have that fire in him. He seems to just be going through the motions,
Right.
And now, is it because of his heart situation, or is it?
That's a good point.
Is it that somebody said something to him like, you'll never be able to fill your dad's shoes, or you'll never be able to fill your dad?
Right.
And you know how society is horrible with that. So you got those things going on. And when a kid has the fire in him and somebody says that to him, what do they usually do? They be like, "Oh, I'm gonna show you." Right?
Oh yeah, Bill Walker Jr. says Matt Barnes twins. That's right. Yes.
Oh, thank you, Bill Walker. The Matt Barnes twins. They got that fire in them. And I'm like,
well, yeah, they got that fire because his daddy had their daddy's got that fire, but that's him and Derek Fisher. But that's another story, folks. We won't be doing that here. This is not Club Shay Shay. Oh man, good one.
Yeah, man. So I just hope the best for him because me and you, we watch a lot of sports and we've been to we followed a lot of players that are in the league now when they were in high school.
Right.
And I still follow players. I go to high school games all the time, college games. And I hope the best for any kid. I don't wish bad on any kid in any athlete, but the eye test and it tells all. And when you can tell,
I just try to tell you how I feel and what my truth is
what you see. Yeah, you see it. And it's like, he doesn't, I don't see the burn in him yet. But let's give it a year and we'll see. And I'm sure,
and that's fair. And and you made a great point earlier about his condition too. That might have a lot to do with it too. So let's be fair. But let's just say this: as we see it now, we don't see the fire in him, and I don't see how he's going to be elevated
to the league.
Yeah, I don't even understand why he's being looked at. But okay, maybe next year it might be. Oh, I get it now.
Right.
And I'm hoping that happens. Right. I hope.
Me too.
I hope this time next year I'm saying, man, Bronny is killing.
Right.
Right. I'm like, what was I thinking last year?
We would love to see him and his dad play together in the NBA more than anything at a high level.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, you know what? I also want to address real quick. LeBron and Jordan. I'm so sick of that. I am so sick of that. But I'm gonna tell you this: prime for prime, there's no question it's Jordan. When you're talking about prime Jordan and prime LeBron, both awesome, but it's Jordan. But when you're talking about a 39-year-old LeBron and a 39-year-old Jordan, well, then it's the other way. It's LeBron.
Right.
Easy.
Right.
But okay, but so to me, the GOAT is Jordan because we're talking about prime. Prime Jordan is better than LeBron. And ain't no, Nike built their whole career on Jordan.
Right.
That's how good he was, folks.
Right.
So their whole legacy is Jordan.
But me, I'm not the one. I don't get into the GOAT, who's the GOAT.
No.
And this and that in any sport, even though that's for everybody else to decide. And but I agree with your assessment that if you take Jordan in his prime and LeBron in his prime, and you say who was the most definitive better player, I go with Jordan. But if you take 35-year-old Jordan and up to 35-year-old LeBron and up, then I'll take LeBron.
Yep. Hey, bro, thanks for hanging with me, at last minute. I appreciate that.
Oh, come on, man. I do it.
So thanks everybody for listening. And then on behalf of MC and Daniel, I'm Pep, and see you guys next week.